All right, Nika, is Caleb Williams on the brink of winning the NFL MVP award? We're talking about it right now.
Hi, welcome back to World of the Psychic.
You are the future.
Give me the prophecy.
It is the future you see.
It's about the future, isn't it?
The future looks good.
I am going to back up my assertion that Caleb Williams will be in the MVP conversation at the end of the 2026 NFL season.
Yes, indeed, this is Bears Predictions right here on the KeNikka Sports channel. But first, it's time for the final countdown.
It's the final countdown.
That's right. If you are as excited as we are about the start of Bears training camp, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for our mascot, Frexy. Look at her running around the park, everybody. She is just such a happy, happy little dog, and she brings so much joy into our lives. We hope she brings some to yours as well.
Thank you. And shout out to our new and returning viewers. Thank you for your continuous support and spending some time with us. Much appreciated.
Hell yeah!
Well, Nika, we are in that period of time where Bears off-season training activities have officially ended.
Okay.
These are the mostly optional workouts. Right before, at the very end, they have a mandatory workout. So they have now sort of dispersed for the final few weeks before training camp begins. And that's where things get hot and heavy. The pads get put on for the first time. We start hitting each other. Everything before this is just in shorts, and it's just kind of like not really a lot of contact out there. And, of course, football is a contact game.
It was like a first date.
Yeah, and the Bears, under Ben Johnson, thus far, only 1 year, but thus far, have been known to be a little bit physical in the training camp side of things.
This is just the beginning.
The other thing that has become very apparent in the Ben Johnson era of Chicago Bears football is competition for positions and playing time.
So we're gonna have tryouts.
I absolutely love this. So with that said, I want to go back a little bit because our guy, number 18, Caleb Williams, is getting a lot of attention. His Madden cover has been announced for 2027's upcoming release in August. And he's also started to get the three-letter word tossed around his name a little bit as a candidate. And that is, of course, MVP, Most Valuable Player. And for Bears fans, having a quarterback in the MVP conversation period is just odd.
He was talked about it last year too, but just in the passing.
I think mostly in just the fact that he brought the team back so many times in late games that it just became hard to ignore. But I really don't even know if he got any votes.
Yeah, I don't think it mattered. It was just nice to hear his name being mentioned in the conversation. That's all.
Yeah, nevertheless, Caleb Williams is a young man of 24 years old still, and when you're his age in the NFL and you have his talent and his abilities, there's still room for growth.
You're everyone's problem.
Especially when your first year was almost wasted under your coaching staff because, let's face it, they didn't really know what they were doing with him.
Oh, you're talking about Eberflus regime.
Yes.
Yes, that was a wasted year.
It was a wasted year almost. And it's sad to say, but I think everyone's happy with where we wound up. We have Ben Johnson, we have Caleb Williams, and all reports out of OTAs and out of all the offseason in general is that they are bonding very well.
Good, better, bad! Good, better, bad!
But I want to get back to 3 months ago because while everyone has jumped on to the Caleb Williams MVP bandwagon, it was actually our guy, Seth Freakin Rollins. That's right, WWE's finest, the visionary. Seth Freakin Rollins was the first one that I could find and remember saying that Caleb Williams would be the MVP this year.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
Well, Seth Rollins is the ultimate Caleb Williams cheerleader. So
well, he's the Chicago Bears like official fanboy for starters. So yeah,
need one.
by extension, he becomes Caleb Williams' #1 cheerleader. Yes. I get what you're saying.
And it's great.
I think when he first made this proclamation, which was all the way back on March 26th, he got a lot of flack for it because he came across a little bit like a fanboy.
Yes, and it was way too early. People were still talking about the free agency, whatever, the postseason stuff. And it was really early to start jumping on the wagon of MVP in March.
Yes.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
What we found is as you go through the NFL calendar, you know, you have free agency at the beginning of March and it fills a nice little gap in the calendar for people. But at the end of March and early April, before the draft starts to get really hot and heavy,
Yes.
you have the NFL meetings. And then you have a bunch of rumors and you have a bunch of conversations. And I think that's around the time when this started to get going. And
Sure.
Seth was at the forefront of this conversation with Caleb Williams. And look, so are we, to be quite fair.
Yeah.
We have been saying that Caleb Williams is going to get significantly better this year.
Good, better, bad. Good, better, bad.
And everything that we've been hearing about the team right now is that they are ahead of where they were last year at this time. This is from the beat reporters on the ground at these mini camps, at these offseason workouts.
The Bears.
Last year, I remember Ben Johnson was tearing Caleb Williams' head off for procedural errors and penalties during these OTAs. And the press was making a big deal about it, like, whoa, this guy's intense. And
And it's great. We need an intense coach to shape these guys into a certain vision that he has in his mind.
this year, by contrast, it's more, everything seems to be working a lot more efficiently and actual work is getting done on the field, which is just great to hear, you know?
In continuity.
Yes, it's almost like they were rebuilding Caleb Williams from the ground up.
Oh, that's a good way to put
this
it.
year is more handcuffs are coming
Building
off.
off of that.
Yes, we are building upon that. So I go back to March 26th because Seth Rollins was on Good Morning Football, as he sometimes is as a host, and he said, quote, "We are going to be talking about Caleb Williams in the MVP conversation next season. That's a guarantee." However, Seth got a lot of flack for putting this opinion out there. And like I said, he was one of the first to do it. He was before Chris Sims. He was before everybody.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
Anyways, Seth himself had to go on Good Morning Football again the very next day, March 27th, and defend his opinion.
Double down.
I want to get into what Seth had to say about why he thinks Caleb Williams is going to win the MVP award this year.
All right. At least somebody's asking the why question.
Absolutely. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we are, and today on GMFB Friday, I am going to back up my assertion that Caleb Williams will be in the MVP conversation at the end of the 2026 NFL season. And here are my top 5 reasons why.
The Bears.
Number 5, the O-line, anchored by Joe Tooney, offensive lineman of the year last season. The man is a stud, knows how to win, gets the job done, but it's not just him. It's not just him, because Darnell Wright, who we talked about yesterday, is also a part of this offensive line. He's been an anchor for the Chicago Bears on the right edge. Look at him. Look at that man. Look at the steam coming off the hair. The kid's a stud. The offensive line, much improved. Much improved. Look at him. Get him up here. Yeah, yesterday we didn't have no footage. Watch him body. Bam! Get in there. Hands, baby. That's my guy.
All right. Number 5. Yes, the Bears' offensive line is in pretty good shape heading into this season. I say that because a couple things got left off of here. One is Drew Dahlman unexpectedly retired. And this had already happened. And Seth did not mention this at all. I thought he maybe should have.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I got to call that out a little bit.
It's a damn shame.
We did get Garrett Bradbury in a trade with the New England Patriots right before the draft. He was looked at as the seasonal replacement. However, we also drafted Logan Jones with our second-round draft pick from the University of Iowa.
So we're gonna have tryouts.
I would say Garrett Bradbury right now, according to all indications from OTAs, is in the forefront. He's the front runner to win, but you never know. And also, it's a long season,
Yes.
everybody.
And you need depth.
You need depth, but you also can lose a job in the
Really
middle of the
fast.
season too.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the Bears make changes last year. They weren't afraid. So if things aren't working as well as they want, they might make a switch.
You're fired.
Speaking of competition, we also have left tackle competition here. I am really happy that we have Joe Tooney at left guard, and I'm really happy that we have Darnell Wright at right tackle.
The Bears.
We have Braxton Jones coming back for more, and we also picked up Jedrick Wills Jr. from the Cleveland Browns as a free agent signing, and he was a former top 10 draft pick.
Are you not entertained?
I think that's good indications for the Bears offensive line. I'm not really worried about them going into this season. Let's move on to Seth's counting down point 4.
Number four, the receiving weapons. Now, we all love DJ Moore. Very sad DJ Moore is gone. He's not a Chicago Bear. He's a Buffalo Bill. He's going to get thrown the ball by Josh Allen this season. But the Bears got an incredible young receiving core. They got Rome Odunze, Luther Burden III. They got Colston Loveland and the vet Cole Kmet. They got weapons on offense. Not to mention Ben Johnson loves to get his running backs involved. And you got Swift, you got Monangai. So there's tons of weapons for Caleb Williams to dish the ball left, right, down the field. The man can make all the throws. Number 3.
All right. Before we get on to point 3, I also wanted to add that because this was before the draft, we also added tight end Sam Roush and wide receiver Xavion Thomas in round 3 of the NFL draft. And I expect both of these players to be involved with the Bears offense this season.
Definitely. Faster, more intense. Those guys are fast.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going
Xavier
for
Thomas
faster.
is a speed demon, and all indications
Tasmanian
from but more importantly, I think people are saying from OTAs and watching him work out that he looks like a more polished receiver than maybe even the scouts were leading on coming out of the draft. This is a guy that was projected to maybe be drafted in the 7th round, and yet the Bears took him at 89th overall in the 3rd round. They must have seen something that they wanted in this guy.
They have their internal data maybe pointing to a better results
Yeah.
than the scouting from NFL or their teams.
I know speed is attractive, but
Of
there had
course.
to be something there more than just the speed. And all indications are that he has really nice hands.
He can catch the ball while running.
And if he can get the ball while he's in motion, I mean, yeah, like you said, it could be game over. Sam Roush, another new weapon. And we know that Ben Johnson loves and wants to run 13 personnel, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends. So Sam Roush completes that trifecta now with the vet, Cole Kmet, as our guy Seth Rollins called him, and Colston Loveland, one of the best rookie tight ends to come out in a long time, especially as we saw him in the playoffs at the end of the season last year. Just a beast. And all indications are that they're just going to keep getting better. They haven't even reached their ceilings yet. Number 3.
My guy, leader in the clubhouse, Ben Johnson, good, better, best, never let it rest. You know, look at him. Look at this psychopath. Look at this lunatic right here. This is a mad scientist, all right? You can put any... Look at him. Get in there. Get in there.
Time out. Ben Johnson's not on the field. Come on.
This is the WWE side of Seth
Yes.
Rollins coming out right here. I can relate, you know. I love me a little red ass sometimes from figures in charge. I do.
Well,
I think
how's
we
that?
all need a little ass chewing every once in a while.
But how is that contributes to Caleb Williams being MVP?
I'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay.
That's my energy right there. You cannot beat that guy, man. He's a competitor. He brings out the best in his quarterbacks. He brings out the best in his team. Teams
That's a good
are
point.
an identity based around their coach. Look at this, man. He's ripping his shirt off. I'm telling you, when Caleb Williams wins MVP next season, this shirt is coming off.
I think he's talking about his shirt. because I don't think Ben Johnson's going to take his shirt off.
He
just
already
'cause-
did,
Yeah, I mean,
so-
you got to do something more to top it off. But
And now he's pants.
that's for the Super Bowl. That's for the Super Bowl,
What is he
everybody.
gonna run naked on the football field?
Look, Seth is being a cheerleader again here for a
Yes.
minute, but he's not wrong. Ben
No.
Johnson is the right coach for Caleb Williams, but the reasons are that he is pushing and challenging Caleb Williams to be the best version of himself, not just on the field, but off of it as well. But we've learned that Caleb and Ben Johnson speak nearly almost every single day, and that they are on the same page going into this season. I mean, that is music to my ears. Hell yeah! So thanks for the rah-rah shit, Seth, but, there's actually real stuff going on here that is, all part of the plan, as they say.
The Bears.
All right, Seth, point number 2. Are you ready?
Yes.
On this show, guaranteed. All right, number 2. The Bears' schedule. Let's take a look at the schedule here. All right, let's look at who we got playing. Look at this. Look at these guys they're going up against this season. Okay, look at these guys. All right, we got Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Drake May, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. The competition is steep. These aren't even the teams in the division. All right, you got the Jordan Loves. All right,
Twice.
I don't know who's going to be throwing the ball in Minnesota. You got Jared
Kyler.
Goff. You got a deep
If we find
division.
him.
Goff.
So they're going to have to run the gauntlet. A lot of high-profile games.
That's 12 games against pretty competent NFL quarterbacks.
Yes.
On
but
paper.
everybody has to face these guys.
I know.
That's all.
Well, and I also feel like the whole schedule strength argument gets blown out of proportion because while I do think it's a good system and fair, I also feel like there's way too much significance placed on it because every season is different for every single team.
Yes.
And rare, like we rarely have repeat champions in the NFL.
And that's a great thing.
So it is. All right.
Chicago Bears are not the Bears of last season. The spotlight is on them. And if there is anybody who is ready for the spotlight, it is my guy. The number one reason that Caleb Williams will be in the MVP conversation is because he's the Iceman.
All right. Well, before we talk about this final point, I just want to add on here that, like, as far as the strength of schedule goes, I think Caleb Williams is somebody that doesn't really back down from a challenge and enjoys being in the limelight.
The number one reason that Caleb Williams will be in the MVP conversation is because he's the Iceman, baby. He came into his own this season, and you saw it in real time, week after week, comeback after comeback. There was nothing that was going to stop him. In the beginning of the season, they'd get behind. He said, there's no way the Bears are going to do it. And then every week, he'd bring him back, drive after drive, week after week. You turn the L's into W's, and this franchise has gone from the worst in the NFC North to NFC North kings. And it's all because of 18 and everything that he brings to the table.
Is that the
Not
Honey
only
Bears
that,
down there, everybody?
this guy, he's got it. There's something about certain players in certain sports in the league, and you mentioned some of the greatest of all time. We just had a Kobe reference in the last segment. There's something
The Black Mamba, everybody.
competitive in him. When it's time, when all the chips are down, you can count on Caleb Williams to hit you with the Iceman. Caleb for MVP. Caleb for MVP. I state my case.
All right. He states his case. That
Sorry,
last point was just kind of some rah-rah shit a little
the last
bit again.
argument doesn't hold the water because Caleb, in order to be MVP, he needs to play 4 quarters of the game, not just the last one, and be a cardiac bear at the end. I want to see the consistency every time he gets on the field. He can score points.
Yes. I think this is the one point that I would adamantly disagree with Seth Rollins is that as much as we relied on the clutch gene, now it's time to see the consistency gene come out and the boring side of greatness come out.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Most successful people rely on being on the consistency, repetitiveness, and being boring.
Absolutely.
Yeah!
we also didn't talk about a couple other things there that I think apply more to getting Caleb ready for this moment, to make this leap, to reach his full potential. Maybe not quite this year, but to be well on his way in the next couple years.
That also applies to his teammates, because if everybody's on the same page throughout the first 3 quarters, the fourth quarter doesn't have to be Iceman.
Yes. So that's what we need is we know that from his time on the Max Crosby podcast that they want to be this big explosive offense this year. You know, he mentioned even breaking the single season points per game record, you know, and that seems like a tall order, and it is. It's like 38 plus points per game. So if the Bears do that, they will be really good. At the end of the season.
But you have to do this from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, not
and from
just
the first
fourth.
game to the 17th game, all the way through. So it doesn't stop or start. Like it doesn't get going after the bye week this year, like last year. You know, like this is a different mentality. It feels like coming out of this training camp or coming out of this OTAs and heading into this training camp. The Bears feel like a more confident team right now, and less of a team of uncertainty.
The Bears.
Last year, there was so much uncertainty, like, well, what is this going to be? Now there seems to be confidence in the product, in the system that's being built, and now it's up to the players to go out and execute it.
Yes.
So, and Caleb has prepared, I think, for this moment for most of his life since before puberty. You know, he at 10 years old apparently made bargains with his dad to, you know, not eat certain kinds of food. And, you know, we know from food alone that it can help you physically and mentally.
No doubt.
It has so much benefits. And I just don't feel like this part should go underlooked a little bit. When you see if he does live up to everything, I hope people do look back on his past and look at his choices.
That's a good point.
People talk about his durability.
Yeah, no.
And he got sacked a lot his first year.
I know, but he hasn't missed a game. And food, as you pointed out, shouldn't be looked at as an entertainment. It's your nourishment and how you recover from injuries.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to add. I just don't think it's an accident. That's all.
No.
So, all right. Well,
don't eat sugar or seed oils.
Do you think we missed anything? Anybody? No. I don't know. Do you think Caleb is headed for a big monster season under his second year with Ben Johnson, or are the Bears going to take a step backwards this year?
Time will tell, and we know how things can go. Sometimes in the second year, not as good, but I'll have high hope it will just build off the last season success and go high instead of low.
I agree. I think one thing I will say for sure is I feel like the Bears are going to be even better this year offensively than they were last year.
Where's your pom-poms?
Let us know what you think in the comments below. We will be back with more off-season Bears news, rumors, and predictions right here on the KeNikka Sports channel.